smoke.
It's a disgusting habit. I gotta get rid of it. Alright, well, it's recording now, so you should have handles at the beginning and the end of shit so that you can cut it, right?
Perfect.
That was like one of the things that, like, anyway.
We can cut out anything that we need to.
Right. So like, what's our intro? Not coughing, hopefully. That's really obnoxious for audio. I don't know if you know this. On the spot. Yeah. Let's just rip all this shit off.
I think that one might be
Let me drink out of my Achievement Hunter branded glass here.
Or my Bush Light.
Well, this is the pilot episode, right? So
welcome to the off-topic podcast.
Yeah. Wildcard off-topic.
That's about the same thing.
Right, it's pretty much the same. So this is the Wildcard podcast, the first annual episode of the Wildcard podcast.
Annual?
Well,
and we do one a year?
We're going with the Gus references, right? Because he fucking hates first annual. He's like, it's not the first annual. It hasn't happened for a year yet, so it's just the inaugural.
But once a year? Is that the plan?
No, fuck no. The first weekly? I don't know.
Oh, good. We can cuss on here?
Oh, yeah. It's NBC.
Let's get this the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I am a little worried about, like, my parents hearing this, but at the same time, I'm not worried about my parents hearing
my
this.
parents won't give a fuck about...
I know your parents won't. Your dad swore at me so much last week.
Your dad taught me to swear more than high school did.
Yeah. And I mean, I already knew all the swear words going into, like, middle school, so it was fine. But my mom's, like, super Christian, and my dad's, like, pretending to be, I guess. I don't know. So...
That's fair.
That's a whole thing.
My parents don't pretend to be Christian at all.
Well, clearly.
they like the drinks and the cuss words.
I'm sure there's... Yeah, anyway. But, so this is the Wildcard podcast where I was asked, what's it about? And I said, I don't know. Anything?
Same.
Yeah,
same answer. I said everything.
When I was filling out the Twitter account, it was like, what are you into? I was like, fuck, just check everything, I guess. I don't know.
Well, good thing Instagram doesn't ask you that.
Instagram, yeah. I couldn't do that. The Instagram account told me to fuck right off.
Yeah, well, I did it. We're live on Instagram. Not live, like, because they have a live...
Please
let's
no.
go Facebook Live. There we go.
Because they have a live thing. Yeah, wait, but no, we're not.
Let's not do that.
Can we post our story to Microsoft Word yet? Or...
Write it down. Like
God,
Creed from The Office. Did you ever watch The Office?
Yes.
His fucking blog was just a Microsoft Word document that Ryan or something, I don't remember what.
That show was amazing.
Yeah. Sarah
I never really watched it.
Finished it. She switches between The Office and Friends all the time.
Oh,
it's like, I finished all, 8 seasons of The Office. Time to go back to Friends or whatever. I'm actually kind of surprised Friends is still on Netflix. This is added at the beginning of the year and it's still there.
Oh,
shit's
Friends.
usually only on Netflix for like 2 months and they're like, all right, we're done. Bye.
I can't watch Friends anymore.
Why not? Have you seen it too many times?
Because it's the same thing over and over.
Well, and when I was in college, my roommate, when I'd come home, he'd have it blaring.
Oh,
it'd be blaring.
So you'd like open the door and be like, we were on a break! Yeah. Like, fucking Christ.
Exactly. And it was like, I would come home from a friend's house at 11:30.
Don't slam the table, man.
Oh, sorry. At 11:30.
We're gonna need to give you like a memory foam pillow so you can...
At 11:30, and it would be blaring in the bedroom, and we're sharing a room, so I only get half of it, so I'd turn on Fox News and just blare the crap out of it.
Oh, my God. This, again, further proof that we would not have been friends in high school. I don't know. Matt and I probably would have been friends in high school.
So then
you and
Travis
would
have
not.
been our friends.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess by proxy. Sure, I suppose.
Me and Travis?
I don't know.
Me and Travis were friends in high school.
I know, but like if it was just you and Travis and then me, like there's no way that we would have been friends in high school. Like I would have been the guy you were shoving into lockers. Like,
no way! I wasn't. I was the one getting shoved into lockers.
Well, that's because you're short. I mean,
there's nothing about it.
It's because you've been that height since you were 10. So.
I mean, all right, yes, maybe, but
I got a buddy he's only 5'8", and he has this weird like genetic disorder.
Only 5'8". I'm 5'5".
No, listen. Let me finish the story. God damn it. He's got this. Both of his parents are like his dad's like 6'4" and his mom's like 6 foot tall.
Holy shit!
He's 5'8".
How do you get the shit into this thing?
Because he got super fucked by genetics. He had this weird like growth disorder where he got to 5'8" and he stopped growing. but his body still thinks that he has the metabolism of somebody who's supposed to be 6'2" or 6'4", so he's like big, like on accident, like not even like when he went to the army, he had to work really hard to make weight because his body's like, all right, here we go, you're gonna be 220, which is normal for somebody who's 6'2",
right?
But not for somebody who's 5'8". And he's just like, ugh, fuck. So he like did it in the army or whatever. And then he got super fucked by the military and got like a discharge. So he went to West Point. Like that's the whole thing. It's like his whole career was gonna be army officer. You know, he got the fucking congressional like approval that you need or whatever to get into the academy. And he was there for 2 years. And then they fucked him. And he didn't even get like a medical discharge. If he got a medical discharge, basically he fucked up his back and his knee. But if he got a medical discharge, then he'd be getting disability checks every month from the military. But they were like, yeah, if you want a medical discharge, you're gonna have to go serve 4 years in the actual army as an enlisted, unpromotable enlisted guy for 4 years, and then you can get a medical discharge. He was like, fuck you guys. I'm out.
Yeah.
So he retired at the rank of corporal and left with an honorable discharge, so he doesn't get any money from the military at all. And he's a little bit bitter, and you know, the ongoing joke with him is that it's one of these days I'm going to be sitting there reading an article, and it's going to be like, guy got in a shootout with the cops, or whatever. All right, well, fuck, I know who that was. Done. Don't even need to read the article.
Oh my god.
It's going to be. He's like the biggest, like take like what you know about libertarianism and like amp it up, and that's this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
great.
Like, he's got a Gadsden flag hanging in his like living room. It's like, don't tread on me, just like super big. There's a house on. I had to bring socks to Sarah's work because she's working at the bank, and then she was like she goes straight from there to her serving job.
Her 2 weeks?
Yeah, she's got like another week. Like her last day is like a day before we leave. So it's
all right.
You know, it'll be nice because we'll go on vacation and then we'll come back and she doesn't have to fucking work at the bank anymore. She sent me this text here. Let me show you this. This text
That's
here.
Gonna be good.
Oh man, texts are always
It's like
good.
literally like a full page on the screen, like more than that actually. I had to scroll. So this is the top of it.
Holy shit.
Oh my lord.
And then there's more.
Jesus.
Yeah. So basically her coworkers suck ass and she hates them. So
Welcome to where we
She
were.
did the thing where like this doesn't happen so much in a restaurant because you usually have a host, unless the host sucks. But usually the host is on a rotation for who they're supposed to seat, so you don't usually get like quadruple sat and then the other server doesn't get anything.
Right.
Usually.
Sometimes that happens because sometimes the host is dumb and that happens. But because I mean, typically your hosts are like high school age people who don't know things. They don't know how the world works yet.
Minimum wage employees.
Right. Well, I mean,
straight up minimum wage.
Yeah.
Employees.
So, but like, she'll be sitting there, and one of her coworkers will be sitting there, and there'll be like 3 people in the lobby, like, because they're both tellers, so they're supposed to, you know, help people when they come up to the counter or whatever. Another person's just sitting there, just like staring at the people who are there, but like not helping them. They're like not being like, "Hey, come over, I can help you over here." So she like, as part of that text, she did like 20 transactions in like a half an hour or something ridiculous.
Huh.
What'd she do? Yeah, 45 minutes, 20 transactions in 45 minutes.
That's outrageous.
And one of the coworkers did 1.
That's outrageous.
Wow.
That is ridiculous.
That is cause for flipping shit.
That's not even just like today. That's like a thing that happens on a regular basis at this place. So she's like so over it and like, all right, I'm done. And she texted her manager because her manager's never there. She manages one other branch, and that other branch is like apparently so super busy that she's just never at the branch.
She just makes a schedule and says you gotta work it.
Right. So her manager's like, texted her 2 weeks to her manager. She's like, yeah, I saw that coming. Like, how could you have possibly seen that coming? You're never here. Like, how would you possibly know? But I don't know. So she's done with the bank now, and she's
on to restaurant life.
Yeah.
You'll love that.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, I hope she's closing tonight because then I can do this super late. Don't worry about it.
Well,
even though I know, it's like I already know. It's like I've got a bedtime, as it were, because I have a problem waking up because I have a problem sleeping. I have a real big issue
Matt, I
sleeping.
broke a chair.
So
Oh, it's been broken.
Oh,
what did
thank
you
God.
do?
The back leg falls off.
Just falls off.
Yeah.
That seems
I need to,
dangerous.
like,
I
glue it
don't
in.
know what is going on.
Wood glue is legit though.
With
I fixed the door
the
with wood
chair.
glue.
Here.
Oh, we got it.
You got it?
I got it. We're all good. Not we. We're good. Matt's still sitting in his rolly chair rolling around the fucking
Yeah.
kitchen. While you're at it, will you make me Irish mule?
Do you have copper mugs?
I do not. No.
Ah.
It's
Let's
And
get an
now-
Irish mule in a glass. So
Well,
you should
what
go
a-
the one
in a
the
mason
one-
jar.
Yeah, the one glassware that I do not have.
Well, incidentally, it's not glassware. either,
Exactly.
So,
So I'm in the clear.
fair.
yeah, there you go.
It's fair.
Did you register for a copper?
Yes,
mugs?
I registered for 2 of them. I registered for the ice things that form your ice.
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah.
water, I
Yeah,
guess,
which-
form your water.
Which
Balls and cubes.
just ball? Okay. Nothing
Spheres
fancy.
and cubes.
Well, have you ever seen my
Um,
Death Star ones?
No.
Ooh.
Because I'm a huge
I
Star
have
Wars
not.
nerd. So
I have not.
Yeah.
We
Where
didn't
are
actually
these at?
introduce ourselves, by the way. I know our
What do
voices
we-
don't sound super similar. At least I don't
What,
think so.
where? All right, throw it in there because I want some Jameson. Can I use
Matt
it?
and I's voices I think, are probably close enough.
Probably
together.
pretty
Mine's
close.
really high.
Team
It sounds
same
like
voice.
a woman. So,
No, that's not true.
well, I've been told that.
Well, they're fucking wrong.
Alright, so let's see how much noise
Your
I can
voice
make.
is higher pitched.
Nope,
which is-
that one did not work very well.
Or it's sitting in there. It's sitting in there long enough that the ice is sublimated and it's just evaporated.
Oh my God, that's funny.
For a while. The other one
Hey,
is
kind of.
mostly
A
there.
little.
You can throw it in the glass if you want to get rid of it
But
and restart.
I mean, that's part of the reason why people think you're like Charlie Day, because your voice is that same way too.
High.
It's like, yeah. So I don't know if you could. I don't know if we could hear Matt from over there.
He about dropped it.
See if we can hear this.
Oh yeah, that's on there.
All right, so if we're going to introduce ourselves here for a second, we just went through a pretty lengthy conversation about restaurant and I don't even know what else we talked
I mean,
about.
we're 12 minutes in at this point.
So,
I mean, the first like minute and a half probably gonna get cut regardless, but
right.
yeah, no, I mean, you know, whatever.
I'm Trace. No.
You're just
stopped.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna have
Trace.
to fucking cut that. You're testing my
Finish
ability
the ball.
to. I
Woo!
slammed. You slammed.
Yeah.
We all slammed.
We're gonna have to get rid of a lot of shit.
We're
There's
gonna
a
need-
bottle right here.
Yeah, that's mine that I'm never gonna drink, so you should just use that.
Why not?
We're gonna need to get a shock mount because I'm a table slammer also.
Me too.
Trace is a table slammer.
I'm more of like a.
Right, but if you have something in front of you, you're gonna.
Right. I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
it. Here's the
emphasis.
real question. When you started playing lacrosse,
Yeah.
compared to what we do now,
Yeah.
with the team,
Yeah.
hits and
Real quick, you want good sound.
Oh yeah. We need to get an ASMR mic. That's what we need.
Okay, so do you watch ASMR? This is one of the things that I kind of wanted to ask you.
I have occasionally.
Yeah.
I've.
Do you
I
get
mean, the achievement hunter like
no,
joke
you
thing
could
that they
just
did
throw Jameson in a small glass. I don't
Was
want to
it-
drink it.
I mean, it wasn't really.
That's for a mule. What the fuck?
It wasn't really ASMR because it was just their
Them
normal
whispering
mics.
into
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Which that whole thing was hilarious. But no, I've seen a little bit of ASMR. There are certain very specific things that are my ASMR triggers, I guess is what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And what most people's are, they don't really work for me. I feel like music more than anything is
Okay.
would be
God
mine.
damn it,
Is
Brendan! He left his fucking save the date here.
if like
What's
shit.
an SMR?
ASMR?
Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, I believe is what it is.
So,
Oh, the other
Essentially-
thing,
what
the other
does
thing that I
this
was
do?
planning on having like a feature of this podcast is whatever we Google, we're gonna publish. So if there's
Perfect.
just a list of the
Dick
things that we
names? Is
Googled. Well,
going-
that was not on this podcast.
Which is partially why I want to get my laptop, but I can take a screenshot on my phone, so that should work
Get
as
your
well.
laptop.
ASMR. What is it?
Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. So yes, I got it right.
What is it?
Sweet.
Okay,
You've got two
so-
encyclopedias on the podcast.
So
and it's
essentially,
you.
That's perfect.
the general definition, or how most people would describe it, is: do you remember when you were little and somebody would like draw on your back, like with their finger?
Yes.
Or they remember the thing where they crack the egg on your head and you feel it running down your back, kind of
Yes.
thing. So the like tingles almost that you would get, or the
Right.
good feeling out of that. That is what ASMR is. It's the nervous response to that stimulus. And so there is an entire section of YouTube that makes videos about this. And a lot of people watch them for like relaxation, that kind of stuff.
Is that what you have on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I watch them for like relaxation.
Was that
stuff.
porn?
My aunt, yeah, that was porn.
What
and this is the
I'm just
thing,
over
though.
here jerking off while you're talking about ASMR. Yes, we're finally doing a podcast.
A lot of ASMR is it's relaxing stuff that like makes the hairs on the back of your neck kind of stand up. Usually makes people feel really good. Tingles is what they call it. So a lot of it is whispering into mics, making small noises into the microphones. And because in real life...
Whispering into the mic.
Exactly. And so in real life, a lot of people think that, well, the only time somebody's that close to you whispering in your ear is when it's an intimate relationship.
Right.
Sexual relation with your partner or...
Do a lot of people come from this? Like,
No.
I'm sure.
Well,
I mean, he says no, I say yes.
like,
I'm sure there's ASMR porn. I
I'm
guarantee there's ASMR
I can
porn.
guarantee there is...
That's part of Rule 34.
No,
That's like basic Rule 34.
You can look it
What's
up.
Rule
I know
34?
there is a not safe for work ASMR subreddit. So there are people that do get off on it, but for most of the people that listen to it, it's just a relaxation kind of thing. And,
put you asleep.
But it's got such a negative connotation because it is that intimate thing that people think that it's all sexual, even though 90% of the time it's somebody tapping on their glass, just making noise, or just whispering random stuff.
So there's not safe for work ASMR, but then there's also Gone Wild Audio, which is a subreddit.
Now, have you ever visited that?
I have.
I have as well.
I have not.
So you're not a Redditor, so it's fine.
Is this people moaning?
No.
It's basically just audio.
Creating role plays.
Okay.
Or that.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I knew you'd come back.
I can't quit you.
You know, that would be an interesting search if there's a Bill Clinton audio on Gone Wild Audio.
I don't know. My wife's really into Bill Clinton, so let's leave that one.
That might not be a good thing.
Hey, there you go. You can role play.
Chris, do you own a saxophone?
I've never played a woodwind. Wink. So Trace introduced himself.
Not really.
Kind of. You said
I
your
about
name.
said my last name.
You said enough of it. I'm gonna have to cut it.
All right.
So, I'm Chris.
I am Matt.
I'm Trace.
All right, we're good. We got that out of the way.
Hopefully,
And welcome to the Wildcard podcast.
There you go. That's good. I can cut that in there. Yeah.
We'll try that.
Yeah, only 18 minutes in. We got it.
Well, we got
better late than never.
6 more hours.
Fuck me. Calling to work tomorrow.
No. Well, okay. So
I'm working from home tomorrow. Why? Because I did a podcast until 3 in the morning.
I gotta wake up early and clean shit because we have another showing of our house that we've
You
already
fucking sold your
we
house.
already sold it. I texted my mom and I was like, "Didn't we already sell the house?" Yeah, but it's their friend. Well, so then why do we need to show it again? We sold the house. What does it
Fucking
matter?
millennials. Someone's probably fucking Snapchatting your house as they're walking through. Look what we just bought.
Like, what does it matter? You sold the house. You have a fucking pretty much.
We could be slobs again. Like what?
You pretty much have a down payment or a whatever
The
cash
what is it
money
called?
in your hand. You fucking have. It's on down payment. It's
I had to do it.
Oh my
can't
God,
remember what it's called.
Escrow? It's not the same.
No,
No, it's not
it's
the escrow. It's the.
You give them money. Like cash.
Deposits?
Yes. No.
No,
No,
it's got
like
an actual.
apartments.
Right.
It's got an actual.
You already have it. So why are you showing your house again? You just sell it for more than what it's already worth? There's no way. I mean, maybe. Sorry, you can't buy the house anymore that you
earnest
already...
money.
Sorry,
we didn't have to do that because we bought it from a bank who wanted to get rid of the fucking house. They were like, no, just go, take it. We don't want it. They practically threw the title at us.
The issue with that is me and my fiance have been looking for that.
Yeah.
And
you gotta look for foreclosures.
we have.
Okay.
And every single one of them, except for like 2 or 3, have been all cash. Every single one of them. We were looking at this house that was... We were talking about it on Monday. It was 135, 132.
Oh, the one that went immediately?
Yeah.
Yes.
All cash.
Yeah.
There was 2 offers before it even went live for sale.
Yeah. Well, what happened to us, somehow our house has been on the market for 2 years at the same price. Like, it had always been the same price. Somehow nobody had bought it.
Was it foreclosed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's foreclosed. It had been a rental property pretty much its entire life. Like, the people who bought it originally lived in it for a couple of years, and they're like, okay, we're done. We're going to rent it now. And it's actually in a really good spot for renting because it's close to the base.
Mm-hmm.
So
people in and out constantly.
Right, always. And we've thrown around the idea of not selling it at some point whenever we're ready to move on and just renting it. But we're not really sure we want to be property owners.
Well,
I know,
that's where it comes in.
Pure
I mean,
cash.
do you want that money for a down payment on another house?
Right, that's the thing.
Right,
Like,
that's
that's
the
the
big
best part
issue.
about owning a house is that once you own a house, you can use that as money to go to your next house and then keep moving from there until suddenly you're in a house you can't afford and you get foreclosed on and then the cycle
Right,
continues.
exactly.
So, so what ended up happening was we were gonna put an offer in on it. Somebody bitched about Sarah's tax returns from the previous year, and because she's a server, and she, the actual deal was she had like 4 different jobs in that time frame, which just so happened. Because like one, she had already been working at like through the previous year, and she'd already done the tax return on that one, and then she started working the next year. She'd only been there for like a month. Then she worked at another place for like 4 or 5 months, then worked at another place until the beginning of the year, until the end of the year rather. So she had like 4 different W-2s, and like all this time she still had like a serving job too. So she had like 4 different W-2s, and she didn't claim one of them because she'd only worked at the place for like a month in that year. So she's like, "Fuck, I forgot." Or actually, I think the deal was they didn't send it to her by the time she had done her taxes. So they were like, "We can't do it because we don't have your full tax information, so we can't do it." There was another offer on the table, and her parents were like, "No, we got it," because her dad had just sold the shop that he owned, and they were like, "We really support you guys getting this house, so we're just gonna buy it on your behalf, and then you can buy it from us later after the capital gains tax goes away. You can buy it from us." So we didn't actually buy it for 105. We bought it for 118 because it was the price of all the renovations that went into it, plus a little bit for taxes, basically.
Still, that's a good price.
Right.
Well, how many bathrooms?
2. So it's 3 bed, 2 bath.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah, and then actually for just the 2 of us.
Well, right now.
We don't have any kids, so it's not
Until you
like
go
a
to
huge
Germany.
deal. Well, fuck, I don't know. Shit, I'm really actually kind of because I mean I'm basically from there, so it's like. I mean, there's a little bit of an aspect of I'm going back to my hometown, right? You know, in a little bit. So that's kind of a fun thing. But I am legitimately worried that Sarah's going to fucking love it there, and then she's not going to want to leave. And I'm like, I just started a podcast. I can't go to Germany.
I can't move there.
I can't move there. I mean, we could do this on Skype, and I mean, this probably would be a good time too, because it would be just early in the morning.
Right. Early
Yeah,
for
so
you,
it'd be like, I just do this before I go to work. You know, it'd be fine. Catch the old train to work instead of driving, because that's not going to be a thing that I do there.
Well, shit. Then you save a bunch of money.
That's debatable.
I was gonna plug Geico right there, but we're not getting paid.
I mean, no, we're not. So we can't. And I can't even say how I'm affiliated to Geico because that's too much. We already discussed that.
Yeah,
we're not talking
a
about
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah. So like 2 weeks before.
But that's good though. I mean, at least you got a house. Like I've been looking and trying to get approved, and it's so hard because I've served the last 2 years.
Yeah, and for some,
and then bartending as well. So
well, it's
you don't
tough
have,
because it's all tips.
Right,
It's
and
all in
they
cash.
say, "Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have the money."
Right.
Even if I go, yeah.
And I mean,
here's
it's a
the
little
money.
bit different now because I'm sure you get a lot of credit card tips, which are like automatically.
Yeah, well,
documented.
yeah, and I
But
claim
I'm sure you get a lot of cash tips too.
I claim a lot of my cash tips too,
Okay.
just so for this
right,
purpose.
just for that, yeah.
Well, so today I'm talking to my dad, and he's like, "Well, get a NIFA loan. Go talk to the people at NIFA that they help people get small loans,
Right.
different rates." And I'm like, the way he said it in the text,
Right.
it was like Section 8 housing.
Text is like the worst because you can't ever tell what people.
So-
Even if you know the person, sometimes
right.
you're like,
It
What
was,
did you
it was
say?
like Section 8 housing, so I was like, or like I'm not trying to be mean
Right.
or anything, but yeah, I'll take it. I'll take advantage of it. I'll
Right.
use it. That's fine. If it helps me get a house, I'm in. But so then he texts me a link to it, and on the page,
oh my god, Jesus Christ, that's significant. Like those spikes in the audio are more than my voice, and I'm loud. Like I'm a loud person.
you'll just have to cut him.
Well, I almost said something. The TeamSpeak that I hang out in is very
The what?
TeamSpeak.
Oh,
It's a VoIP client.
You heard
I was
something
like-
else as well.
it's like the what?
Wait, what did you hear?
A racial slur.
What?
I'll let you.
TeamSpeak?
No, is that no? Okay. No, it sounded like oon.
Oh,
Coon.
no.
Oh,
no.
oh, I was like, wow.
I might have slurred it. The TeamSpeak I hang out in, enunciation, they are, I don't know, it's like 4chan reincarnated, like in personal form. Like most of the time, and the weird thing is that, so you know how they've talked about on either the Off Topic or any of the other podcasts with Rooster Teeth, in case whoever's listening to this shit can't tell, at least 2 of us are Rooster Teeth fans. So they talk about how they have their on-screen persona and then them in real life. Because
it's mostly the same, but a little exaggerated, essentially.
And like Michael Jones is like his. I mean, obviously he's known for rage quit. He's known for yelling at video games. He's known for yelling at people. Is one of the nicest fucking people I've ever met in my life. And Lindsay, same way. Like she is crass and ridiculous. But then in person, she's like, she'll like bump into you on accident in a fucking convention hall where that happens all the time. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, calm down, woman.
That's good, though. I
Like,
mean, that's good, and that's why it's their alter ego.
Right, and
much.
like Ryan is, his whole alter ego is ridiculous murder stunts.
Crazy
and again,
murder man.
is again one of the nicest people I've ever met. So the weird thing though is that this is all in TeamSpeak. Like these people have a specific persona in TeamSpeak. Like I'm the salty guy. Like I'm the guy who yells all the time.
Salty. That's a high school.
Pretty much. Well, no. See, that's the thing though is I've heard that phrase for so long. I've heard it 6-7 years ago. It originated on the East Coast, I think, is at least because all the friends that I know in that TeamSpeak are all from like the Philly area. So salty's been like a term to describe somebody who's like mildly upset forever. It's just that it finally made its way to the internet, and now everybody knows what it is, and now it's a commonly used phrase.
Yeah, fair. Like
So,
lit?
right, yeah.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure that came straight.
Fam. Yeah, fam too.
Well,
I mean,
that
like,
comes
fam.
straight from the subreddit called Black People Twitter. Like, I'm trying to be
which is one of
super
the
racist,
best,
but that's what it's
it
called.
It is one of the best subreddits.
That is what it's called. So
it is amazing.
As soon as shit starts hitting
yes.
and it gets retweeted and it gets reblogged on Tumblr and all that other
the
shit,
issue
like
is-
then it becomes vernacular.
Granted, we live in Nebraska.
Right, where there's
and-
like 6 black people total.
Right,
Yeah,
total.
no, I
And
get it.
They're all
in
up in
this
North Omaha.
this area,
This area
there's like
specifically.
2 black people.
Right.
But
Matt's
Matt's
counting.
counting.
No, I'm
We're
trying
at
to
Matt's
think.
house, by
Matt's,
the way.
Matt's counting.
I have never seen a black person in my neighborhood.
All
that I
right, so
can
there's
think
none
of.
in the neighborhood. You
I have a story to tie that back in.
all of us played one. All of us have played the same sport of lacrosse.
We played the whitest sport in the world.
Right, and
Yeah.
when we played, there was a team in Omaha that had multiple black people. We actually had 2 halvesies. I call them Oreos, but
Mulatto butts. Anyway, go on.
You definitely watch Archer then, right?
I've seen enough. Yeah.
Okay,
Express-
my wife
This is the
doesn't,
my wife doesn't like that phrase.
but I mean, you think about it. Talking about black people,
Uh-huh.
I lived with one for a year.
Yeah.
So you go to a different country and they have a different language. Whoever it is.
Right.
We, as Nebraskans, really don't have a.
We don't have like a regional
Accent
dialect,
or-
right? Or an
right.
accent, yeah.
We don't.
Well, because they use the Midwestern accent as like news anchors. They learn that. Yeah.
we don't really have one.
There is another thing that I'm going to come back to.
The issue. Well, it's
I
not
gotta
really an
write this-
issue.
I gotta write this
But
down
they,
so I don't fucking forget it.
when you're talking to certain people, and then they talk to, even if it's white, Asian, Mexican, black, whatever, they talk to the other person that's the same race as them.
Oh yes.
It's like a whole different.
like even
You have to get a translator, even if it's in English. You still have to understand it.
And I just heard a story about a group of people that went to Japan, and they had, it was like 5 people went, and 4 of them were white, 1 of them was Asian, not necessarily Japanese, but they were Asian. Well, one of the white people spoke Japanese. So when they were talking, the white person would ask something in Japanese, and the person would respond. But they wouldn't look at the white person that asked the question. They would look at the Asian person, expecting them to know the language already, even though they had no clue.
Right. So, living with Zay, when we would talk, we'd have racist conversations, Chris. Like, why do you guys say this? Why can't I say this? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. The usual, as
Right,
you do.
right.
Yeah.
But when one of his friends would come over, I would literally have to say time out. Say that again, because I'm never, not trying to be mean or anything, but I'm never around it.
Right.
When I was with Zay, I could towards the end of the year I got to understand some of it.
Right.
But they talk in a different. It's not a dialect, but
almost.
right, yeah, it's just their way of talking.
Well, I mean, any group has that because like gamers have that, or it's like or like people
league speak
like
essentially
that, or like people who play League where they're like, oh, rush mid, don't feed, whatever. It's like, oh, I know what all those things mean.
Right.
Even though I never play League, but I know I played enough StarCraft custom maps to know what that fucking means. But like any group has that, like even in lacrosse where you're like,
well, that's fair.
Go to GLE and you're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right,
I don't know what that means.
That's fair. But even hockey has GLE.
Yeah.
So and
but
soccer,
it's a sports thing.
Hockey
well,
has the trap,
well,
all
that's
that other
true.
stuff too.
That's
so it's
true.
like, I mean, any group has that specific
it just
lingo, I guess.
I don't know. I find it's
slang,
not weird
jargon.
to me, but it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because we can have a normal conversation and they will understand, or like people will understand it.
Right.
But if certain other people have a conversation, even if it's in English, we can't understand it.
Well, this might be an extreme example. I know a Scot.
That makes sense.
And he sober is difficult to understand because he is very Scottish. I think he's been in the United States a total of like 2 weeks. And I mean, the thing. So they say that the reason why British actors are so good at emulating an American accent is because there's so much media that comes out of the U.S. that everybody knows what an American accent sounds like. So like, there's some people that I had no idea. Like actors, I can't think of any off the top of my head, so this is a terrible example. But there's so many actors that I found out later. I'm like, fuck, that guy's British? Like, I had no fucking clue. Actually, Andrew Garfield's a good example. The guy's super British.
See, you just surprised me right there.
Yeah, super British.
Oh my god.
Spider-Man and the fucking Hacksaw Ridge. He's a dude, he's a fucking American guy. So, and then also Hugh Jackman had no idea he was Australian.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's Australian.
I knew that one. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Andrew Garfield's British.
Wham!
Nicholas
Wildcard
Holt.
podcast.
Nicholas Holt's Beast in the new kind of X-Men movies, also British.
Okay.
He was also in Mad Max. Super British as well.
Is the guy who plays Bane, is he British? Is he
Tom Hardy? No,
Yeah.
he's actually American. I think.
He's American?
Yeah.
Well, here I just looked up
we can Google
celebrities celebrities you didn't know were British. Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead, the main character.
See,
in
that
Walking
I
Dead.
could almost guess though because
He
his
is?
American accent's a little, he's sketchy.
British.
Oh, well, yeah, you always have to make it deep.
Well, and he does the full like down south, like because
Right.
they're
Which is like
Georgia.
I'm from down south.
Right.
and
So
we're
the
gonna
thing is,
shoot
for
some
Americans,
zombies.
it's really easy to tell when you've got a fake Southern accent.
Yep.
Like if he was going for like a fake Midwest accent, you could almost
I'd
believe
be
it.
like, bing.
Which ties into one of the things I wrote down because I was going to forget otherwise is the regional dialect. So there are certain things. So the Midwest is supposed to have like this nice neutral accent, right? And that's what they use. I think it's like it has a specific name. I don't remember what it is. I could fucking Google it.
We can Google
I don't know
it
why I
and
do that.
We can put it
I'm
up.
a nerd in 2017 and I fucking know how to get information.
You're the nerd. Wait, what am I? So we have two nerds and...
Two nerds.
I don't know, man.
The
Nerd,
racist, I
nerd,
guess.
and...
The
No,
racist.
hey, fuck off! That's a dick. I'm not a racist. Everybody is equal to their own
North
thing.
Central American English, otherwise known as the Upper Midwestern or North Central dialect.
Upper Midwestern, that's like Chicago.
Yeah, see, and then it goes on to say something about stereotypically recognized as the Minnesota accent. That's not true at all.
Minnesota?
No, because Minnesota
Yeah.
has a
Minnesota?
very
They're
distinct.
very, yeah.
It's almost Canadian, is what it is.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Business, or no.
that's
was-
like Philly.
What was the one that Edge said on WWE and Chris Jericho? They can't say business correctly. I
It's
swear
always
to God,
business.
it's business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standard American English? I don't know. It's got a different name, and I can't think. I think it's like Northwestern Atlantic or something ridiculous. Like, not even describing the region correctly. But, because also technically Ohio is part of the Midwest, but they've got a very different accent. Which I never noticed as a kid, because I've got a lot of relatives from Ohio. Never noticed as a kid. Went to a wedding a couple of years ago. Definitely noticed it. So, it's like a normal Midwest accent, but all my relatives are from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a normal Midwest accent, except for some words have this weird like twang to it.
Oh,
yeah. Right.
So it's a little strange.
Well, and I mean that's
Well,
also how centralized it is. I mean, us here in Omaha it's very, very basic. It's even throughout the city for the most part.
Right.
You go 15 miles west,
Right.
and out into the farmland,
Yeah.
it's completely
Oh,
different.
So
yeah.
that actually was the
That-
original point I was trying to get to.
That
Regional
turns
weird
into
dialect.
me talking like this.
Right. It's a little bit of a southern drawl, which
Right.
is weird. But there's also what I've discovered so far, and I haven't really met anybody from the West Coast to talk about this with, but my friends on the East Coast, we've confirmed that there is a specific rural accent, regardless of where you
Yeah.
are
Oh yeah.
in the United States, where people say things like crick and rough and
Yep.
warsh. Like those
Warsh-
are all words
Warsh is the one. Yeah.
Those are all words
Crick is a big one.
that happen in the rural parts of the U.S., regardless of where you're from. Even if you're from rural New Jersey, which I'm not even sure is a thing, because New Jersey's pretty
big
built
enough
up.
to have rural.
Right, rural Pennsylvania. We'll go there. Not
Pennsylvania.
Amish country, but like the other places.
Amish country. That's pretty much rural Pennsylvania.
I mean, yes, but yeah, that's where you'll find things like crick and rough.
Well, you
And-
find it here too.
Right.
I hunt a lot, so when I go
Oh
out
yeah,
and talk
I'm sure
to a
you hear
lot
it
of
all
people,
the time.
I
Yeah,
hear
like there's
crick,
some good ducks
I
down
hear-
by the creek or whatever the
right,
fuck people
but-
say to you. I don't know.
Oh, our creek's a warm water slough. All right, cool. You mean your creek?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's creek.
Yeah.
But I'll say crick just to be on the same level as they
Right.
will. So I'll be like,
Try and
yeah, you're
convince them
crick.
you're one of them.
Right, exactly. And it's so weird because even talking, sometimes I'll change into that. I'll be like, hey, we need to go to the creek, or at
Right.
practice, it'll be me yelling or me going into southern all of a sudden, and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, sorry, it's from me trying to get hunting land.
Yeah.
It's from me being like equal
It's a high
with
pressure
you.
situation.
Right. It's like I get loud and then it becomes a wild
Wild
card. It's crazy. It really is. I mean, even at work, you work with a certain. We work in a restaurant, so yeah, we have whites, blacks, Mexicans, Asians. I mean, but
Well, I mean, they don't call it kitchen Spanish for no reason.
right. So it's kitchen Spanish.
It is very
We
much
work with
kitchen
them,
Spanish.
and I know Matt's voice changes when he says Chavez for me because that's what they call me at work. So when he says Chavez, it's Chavez.
Yeah.
Hey. And I turn obviously, but then I respond with the same accent
Well,
or whatever.
it's the same thing as like
right
have
back.
you heard of the phone voice? Have you heard
Exactly.
Yeah.
You repeat what how they talk.
Right. Well, my mom's got a really weird phone voice because she's got kind of a deeper voice for a woman. And for a while, when my voice first started changing, like people confused me with my mom, whereas they didn't before. Like they clearly knew that I was a kid when I'd answered the phone before, but then when I was like 12, 13, they started being like, oh, yeah, just like launch into a conversation. Like, yeah, I'm not my mom. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Please stop talking. I'll get her for you, or she's not here, or whatever. And then after, another year or so, it was very clearly not my mom. And my voice is deeper than my dad's at this point. So it's like, there's a very clear difference between those two. But like, my mom's phone voice gets like 2 octaves higher. She's just like very sweet sounding voice. And I mean, not that she's not a sweet person to begin with. But she's got a very distinct phone voice. Sarah's the same way. Like she gets her phone voice is almost it's like borderline shrill. And mine's kind of the same way too, because I've done customer service and answered phones and stuff for so long that it's been a while since I did it last. So although I guess usually when I answer the phone at work, it's usually still, this is Chris. It's a very distinct, different. It's got a different pitch to it.
Almost seems more professional.
Right,
Kinda.
exactly. I can't just be like, yo, or whatever, just like...
Well, when we work, you pick up the phone and you say the name, right? And you're like, what could I get you?
Yeah.
Well, I vary because it depends on if I'm annoyed or not.
Well,
Right,
we
yeah,
don't have
absolutely.
a specific dialogue. That
right.
We, have to
We
say.
don't have a paper that we have to read.
Right, you don't have a script.
Right. And you could frickin' answer phones and be okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of phones, one day I text him, no response. Call him,
Matt.
no response. Yeah, call Matt.
Oh, Matt goes, ooh, like he knows what's going on.
Yep, I remember this.
No
day.
response, no response, no response, no response. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's sleeping or whatever. He's doing something. I'm used to it. I've been friends with this guy since we were
I'm not
6
the best
years
person
old.
at texting back.
How long have we been friends?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Which is
Probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
5.
6
4.
years
Now,
old.
we're both 23 now, so
his boss calls me.
I'm a fucking old fuck.
You're 25.
26.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
so
I
old.
passed
So
the
old.
threshold.
So old.
Now you gotta pay
You're
for your
over
own
the hill.
insurance.
Yeah.
You're over the hill.
No, not until I'm 27.
Oh,
but
is
it
that
wasn't under
27?
my parents'
Okay.
insurance anyway. Well, is it until you're 26 or through?
I think
Until
it's
you're
until you
25.
turn 26,
Okay.
I want to say.
Yeah. So once you turn 26, you have
Well,
to.
Sarah's got some time, so that's fine.
Phone calls, texts, all this. I'm like, he's probably sleeping, doing something else. What really got me worried is when his boss called me. Said, hey, what is going on? Why isn't he answering his phone? I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll go over there. I'll check on him, just make sure everything's okay. Come over here, ring the doorbell.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting at my computer with my phone next to me, which does not have a single notification on it. Doorbell rings.
What's your signal like here? Like,
Oh, great! I have perfect signal.
Yeah.
Full bars. Yeah. Doorbell rings. Oh, who could this be? I wasn't expecting anybody to come over. Let's go see. Go to the door. Trace, what are you doing here? Oh, thank God. What's going on? I didn't know if you were alive or not. What? Well, I called you like 7 times. Really? Let me go look at my phone. That was sitting right next to me. No notifications whatsoever. Here, maybe something happened. Let me restart it. Minute goes by. Oh, look at that. 12 missed text messages. But it doesn't tell you how many calls. But apparently, between Trace, my boss, and both of my sisters, I had about 10 missed calls. And plus the 12 or so messages.
Right. And so speaking about phones, right, it's sometimes smartphones or our technology doesn't work.
Yeah.
Not so smart.
Right. It's not so smart.
I've never met anybody who hates computers more than other people in IT.
Oh,
Like, I work in IT, and like the common denominator between all people in IT is that the only reason they work in IT is to spite computers. Like, it's the only reason that people ever work in IT. They're like, fuck you. I'm pretty sure that's like 99% of the reason people are mechanics, too. Like, they get into it at first.
They
and they're
hate
like,
cars.
This is kind of cool. But then they're like, fuck you, I'm going to fix you, and you're going to fucking like it. And then they fix the car, and they're like, yeah, cool. But then they, like, secretly hate cars. So that's the same way with IT people, is they secretly hate
I
computers.
secretly hate food.
Well, it's a little bit different.
I don't know.
Define food. The food that I have to cook for
Well,
other people, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the food I cook and other people cook for me, I don't hate.
In general, I'm like, I mean, that's why Soylent is like such a, like, it appeals to me. It's kind of expensive, but it appeals to me because it's like, I don't really care about eating that much. And most of the time I forget to do it anyway. So it's like eating's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, there are certain things where I'm like, efficiency, yeah, great. And then the other things, I'm such a lazy fuck that doesn't matter. So it's like anything that I do for efficiency is immediately canceled out by me spending 7 hours on the computer on a weekend.
Yeah,
so it's like, whatever. But, like,
I don't know. I
Soylent,
spend 7 hours on the computer.
Sarah says the same thing, and I'm like, what?
I really don't.
Only 7?
I mean, you ask him about growing up with me. We'd spend an hour and a half playing video games, run outside. Like, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I had a friend like that as well.
You were
He had
definitely
ADD
a person
though,
that-
so there's.
I mean, if we had grown up in this time now where the doctors have to diagnose everything and all that kind of stuff, Trace would have definitely been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, whichever one. But just because, I mean, but it's just kids having energy. They just want to do something. Like, you just...
Well, I mean, even when we were kids, it was way overdiagnosed.
Oh, yeah.
And way
It's
overprescribed.
always overdiagnosed.
So, like, ever since they discovered what it was, they're like, oh my god, everybody's got it. That's weird.
And it's the parents freaking out.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the classic helicopter parent thing.
Why does my kid need to go run a mile? Because he has energy.
Yeah.
It's like a dog. You get a dog, you have to go take it for a walk because otherwise it's going to bug the shit out of you for the rest of the night.
Yeah. So, like, I'm a military brat, so there's a weird kind of departure in the parental philosophy with military parents, at least in the ones that I have experience with, compared to the general public. And this when I first heard what a helicopter parent was, I'm like, what is that? That seems weird to me. Like, I don't know what that means. Because all the military parents are like, fuck it, go outside. You get 2 hours of video games a day, and that's it. You go outside after that. If you want to spend all 2 hours of that in one go, that's fine with me. I don't care. You could just go outside afterwards. So my parents were very much the same way, where it's like I had to be outside, I had to go do stuff, and most of the other kids that I knew were the same way. Tying back into your conversation about having a black roommate, in the military, there's a very diverse group of people that are in the military. growing up, I knew plenty of black kids, I knew plenty of Mexican kids, I knew plenty of Asian kids, just the whole spectrum. Like, even in my school of, like, 120 people total. Like, there was, like, a very diverse group. I might have even been a minority. I don't know. I didn't do the math back then because I didn't care about that kind of thing. And again, it's one of those things where if you're brought up in that environment, you don't care. It doesn't matter.
It. Yeah.
Like, it's like, whatever. I have 3 or 4 black friends, and nobody is racist. You know, it's like, who cares? I actually knew a kid who lived across the hall from me when I lived in Germany, whose parents, even his dad, who was in the army, barely spoke any English. Mom spoke 0 English. I learned most of the Spanish that I knew at the time from her and from them. But, I mean, the 2 kids spoke English, like, perfectly. Hung out with them all the time, you know, whatever. Again, it's like, it doesn't matter. So, coming back to Nebraska, not back to, because I'd never lived here before, but coming back to the States, living in Nebraska, so I move here, and it's like, shit, everybody's super white. The thing is, though, is like in Bellevue, in the Bellevue area,
it's different.
It's a military area, so it's incredibly diverse. Same thing. My wife grew up in Bellevue, you know, went to high school there, and you know, again, same thing. Where she's like, she works in like Papillion. Well, she works in Papillion now, but she's worked at like Texas Roadhouse or whatever, and she's been like, man, bitches are stuck up there or whatever. It's like, holy shit, the difference even between Papillion people and Bellevue people.
Come out west.
And it's, yeah. I told her, I was like, you're describing West Omaha to me right now.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
So have you ever seen the picture of the, I can't remember what it was
the
called.
Judgmental map?
Yeah, the judgmental map of Omaha. That's what it was.
Tea and lemonade?
Yes, please.
So like coming back to the States, went to, middle school in West Omaha for a little bit. And then I was in math counts because I'm a nerd. Yes, that's perfect. It doesn't quite include Bellevue enough.
Yeah, no, it doesn't go quite all the way down.
Yeah. But, so, in math counts, right? Because I'm a nerd.
Oh, so, that's what it is. Servicemen that wish they were stationed elsewhere.
Yeah, well, because there's a joke about often is that once you're there, you never leave.
I know so many people that have said, "Oh, this is a great place to raise kids and have a."
Well, yeah, it's such a stereotype. The whole place is a stereotype, right? Which is funny because it's like, I mean, I don't even.
People who grew up here were a stereotype.
I don't even give a shit about the whole like, oh, it's a great place to raise a family. It's like that's a great place to just live because it's cheap compared to like the East Coast.
And you have to think. I mean, we have the Millard School District, and that is
it's one of the
top
better
of
ones
the nation. I mean,
world.
Not at the top, but I mean, it's in the top.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's a little rough right
there
for you.
What the fuck? What was? Oh yeah. So I'm at math counts, and we go to a competition, and it's at Central High School, which is in downtown Omaha, basically.
Yep.
And it had been a year since I had seen another black person ever. So I mean, you spend a year looking at just a bunch of fucking white bread all day, and you're like, okay, whatever, you get used to it. So you go to Central High School, which is in downtown Omaha, and you might be, an 8th grader who hasn't quite figured out their filter just yet. And you might say something like, wow, there are a lot of black people here in a van full of white people. And one of them turns to you and goes, you can't say that. I'm like, why? It's a fact.
It's an observation.
There are a bunch of black people here. Why can't I say that there are a bunch of black people?
That's fair.
And they're like, you can't say that. That's racist. I'm like, how is it? And I was like, all right, whatever. Fuck it.
There's no reason to argue.
It's amazing how accurate this map is.
So I have to drive through. I have to drive 13th Street South to go home from downtown.
Say habla español.
Through that, and also the other one.
To report order, call. Odor. To report odor,
right next to the Missouri River treatment plant.
We are looking at a map of Omaha right now.
Yeah, the judgmental map of Omaha.
Map.
I believe it's originally hosted on some Tumblr page somewhere.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I just Googled it.
Is Tumblr even still around?
Oh yeah, Tumblr's huge.
Is it?
My absolute favorite
Tumblr?
though.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was still around.
Actually, probably my second favorite though.
I end up there just often enough to know that it's still there and like what the general
what's the
memes
general
are in
memes?
Tumblr. Tumblr is. It is. Well, Tumblr's an easy target for a lot of like butthurt people. Like it's an easy way to be like, oh, you're just some Tumblr like social justice warrior.
Feminists, right?
No
You
wonder,
would not like Tumblr.
No wonder I didn't know it was still
I mean, there's a
around.
lot of porn on Tumblr.
There is.
Also, like
It's fair.
a lot of porn on Tumblr. A lot of amateur porn on Tumblr.
Okay, we have to say this right away. Most of the internet is porn.
Well, yeah,
It doesn't matter what website you're on.
100%.
Most of the internet
You can be
is
on
porn.
Facebook and some chick that you haven't seen in 6 years is
hold
posting
on.
pictures
I've got to
I
find
mean,
it.
of her
those are the fun
fucking,
ones, though.
Well, yeah,
Hold on.
of her
I'm gonna have to
fucking
do it here. 'Cause
But
I-
modeling.
So
and
back to this map real quick though. Probably one of my favorite
parentheses, by the way.
my favorite captions on here, right around 72nd and between Blondo and Pacific. You know what's about there?
It's Rose Bumpkin Drive. No, Blondo and Pacific? That's
Yeah.
actually quite a lot of...
But 72nd
what school
and
is
Blonde
around that
Pacific.
area?
It's Northwest.
No,
No,
Northwest
it's Burke,
is further out.
Creighton.
No.
It's Creighton Prep.
Yeah.
High school for gays.
Yeah.
Although none of them beat the entire Council Bluffs description, meth and casinos.
I
But
mean...
all right, so growing up in Omaha,
I've got to think about that.
the constant thing that you heard, because we're out west and we're in Millard, the constant thing you heard about Creighton Prep and all these other schools like that is, why don't they have stairs? Well, fairies can fly. So I mean, that was the constant
I
joke.
had never even...
You never heard that?
Never
So-
heard that
Oh my
before.
gosh,
Okay,
you
so
should bring it up to
did
Max.
did you ever hear about the football game between Creighton Prep and Boys Town?
Oh, I was just about to
I
bring
do
this
know,
up.
because this made national news.
So
I don't remember what was said, though. The
For
thing that I don't
people
remember-
listening, Creighton Prep is a preparatory school. It's a Jesuit academy, I believe. So a Catholic school.
I mean, it's
all
Creighton,
boy. It's an all
which
boys
Creighton
school.
is a private
Yes.
college.
It's an
Jesuit
all
college.
boys preparatory high school. Boys Town is a high school for troubled youth, essentially.
Yeah.
Most of these kids didn't grow up with family or are having troubles with their family, kind of thing. So during a football game between the two schools, the student sections, as they do in high school, get
Oh,
into
man.
Fuck, I remember where this is
chants
going now.
against each other.
Yeah.
So the Creighton Prep boys begin chanting.
It was actually the opposite.
No, Prep started.
Prep started. I
Prep
thought it
started
was-
with "We have girls," saying that.
That
Or
would-
no, I'm
that
sorry.
would be-
I'm sorry. Boys Town
Started.
started saying that "We have girls" because it is a boys and girls school. Prep is all boys. Saying that "We have girls," and Creighton Prep didn't like that very much and started chanting back, "We have parents," because a lot of the kids at Boys Town do not have
It's
parents.
so messed up.
It is
It is
very messed up.
super
But yes,
There was
you're right,
another
Chris.
one
It did
like
make
that.
national news.
There was
Yeah.
another one like that, Omaha South, or one of those schools that is predominantly Latino or Mexican.
Probably be Omaha South. Yeah.
Omaha South. They were playing another team. I can't remember who it was. It was one of those other schools down there, and I say other because we're out west. Other means just another school. The other school held up green cards,
Wow.
like pieces of green paper, to Omaha South,
To a majority
to
Latino
a majority
school.
Latino school.
That's fucked. I did not hear about that.
Yeah, how messed up is it? Like, who is teaching these kids that this is okay?
I don't know. Millard North used to have a bullshit chant. I mean, pretty sure all the Millard schools had it. I'm pretty sure every school had
A
it.
bullshit chant?
Yeah, whenever
We had
whenever
fuck shit up.
Well, we had that too.
FSU.
No, we had.
I don't remember.
We always had
bullshit.
defense. Fuck them up was always the big thing. We got in trouble for that. Got in trouble for Millard North has actually been in the center of a lot of controversies with their football shit.
Yeah, so is
lately,
Millard
in
South.
the past 10 years. So Millard North had defense. Fuck them up. They had whenever the ref made any call was bullshit. Like Millard North is the Philadelphia Flyers of the Omaha region. It's
They're
really
just the worst. Like
the worst fans. Oh yeah,
Everything,
The
even
worst.
though you know it's a fucking flag or a
Yeah.
penalty, they're like bullshit.
yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Right.
Bullshit.
It's it's the Philadelphia Flyers of the Omaha high school sports region. There was
that's
bullshit.
great.
There was defense. Fuck them up. There was a couple other things. There was the sex doll that got inflated and thrown around all the time. Most schools to do a beach ball.
Right.
We decided to have a sex doll.
All right.
That was the thing that happened.
That works.
That got and Brian Begley I think is still the principal of Millard North. He was the principal of Kiewit when a lot of us were there. at Kiewit.
Doesn't like
Miller North is fed
lacrosse.
from Kiewit and Miller North Middle. I think are the two middle schools that feed Miller North.
Yep.
And Begley came from Kiewit. Like a lot of us knew him from 7th and 8th grade. So 2 years after we're in high school, we're juniors in high school. All of the 8th graders who were there right before, or were there when Begley was the principal, and then we went to high school. We didn't have him for 2 years, and then he comes in our junior year in high school. We're like, fuck! We thought we were rid of this asshole. And he just shows up. So we're like, what the hell? So he's immediately like laying down the hammer. He's just like swinging his dick everywhere. He's just like, no more of this.
I don't
no
know
more
if
of
a high
that.
school principal was swinging his dick around, but
Well, I'm sure somewhere there's a high school principal swinging his dick around. Yeah, exactly. That's an appropriate time to bang the table. Yeah, so he like puts an end to most of it, and I mean, in typical, high schoolers, right?
Right, they're all pissed
Might as
off
well,
and-
the theme song of high school might as well be Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, for those. Just the part.
Do what you tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Just on repeat for the rest of for 4 years straight. So that didn't work. But then, Middle North got a lot of attention because one of, I guess if you have most like sports teams have a home jersey and away jersey and like an alternate jersey.
Right.
Miller North's home jersey was always the blue and silver, and then the away jersey was always the white and blue. And the alternate jersey, if there were such a jersey, would have been black. And that actually was the color of the Miller North lacrosse team for the years that I played for them. Black. So, because it fits well with green and silver and blue, right? Black's a nice accent color for all of that. So, on Miller North home games, the theme was you wore a black shirt and or black or camo was the thing. So you always had blackout games on home games, especially like rivalry games. Like we played Millard South and Millard West. We would do blackout games when we were the home team. Part of that also was body paint. So you painted yourself black as well.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Recently, this past school year, Millard North got in trouble for blackface.
Oh,
Quote unquote blackface. Because, and I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and deride this as a white guy, but come on.
It's high school kids painting themselves for.
But
Also,
they don't
not only
even
that,
know.
But it's
Like,
not
they don't
even,
realize
it's just their face.
No, it's
right.
It's
everything.
their whole
entire
body.
body.
Because it's generally kids that aren't wearing shirts. And,
Right.
Exactly.
It's not. Yeah, and just it.
Which I don't know why the
blackface is just
fuck
your
you would
face
be
and
wearing
your
a
hands.
goddamn shirt in September in Nebraska.
Or
You
no
fucking
Because it
idiot.
was 65, 70 degrees. We
This
didn't have
year,
a fucking
baby.
Winter.
In 08, it was not.
Well,
Global
yeah.
warming is real. Climate change.
I agree with you on that.
I didn't expect that to be like an actual thing that happened in my lifetime, at least not within 6 years. Like, that's a fucking ridiculous amount of time for that amount of change. Although they say the El Nino cycle is like, what, every 7 years or so? Is
Yeah,
it?
so
Like rotates.
next year.
And I mean, my
there'll
dad's a
be-
meteorologist, so I should know these things already. And I kind of do.
Yeah, what does he say about it?
He says that global warming happens anyway, usually on a scale of tens of thousands of years, and that humans have fucked everybody by being fuckheads, basically, is what it boils down to. Now, it's like to the point where it's like we have plenty of scientific, like hard scientific evidence to support this, idea that we are accelerating the warming of the Earth. And you still have assholes who are like, nah, not a thing. Totally fake. Super conspiracy.
Sounds like somebody we all know.
So it's like, how the fuck do you have people, even to this day, who deny it? Like, it's like... I mean, whatever. Call it whatever you want. If you don't want to call it global warming, again, actually the official term now is climate change. It's not even just global warming.
It's not global warming.
Because it has nothing to do with warming. Because it just changes the climate patterns across the world. It might make one place warmer, but it might make one place colder.
Right. My whole thing with that is growing up, you don't really notice it. You're like, oh, yeah, it's cold, it's warm, it's cold, it's warm.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? You go outside and you play.
From a hunting aspect,
Right.
from
Which, by
doing
the way,
this-
a lot of people like to talk shit on hunters or like get really angry at hunters, but the actual hunters that I know are like huge conservationists and like really big about like making sure nature runs its course.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sure, you might be shooting something with a highly advanced
It's funny.
gun,
a lot of
but,
those
like,
people who talk shit don't spend the money that we hunters spend the money to make sure that the conversation
just reverse it there.
Conservation actually takes place.
Right.
I don't know how much money I spend a year. Probably close to maybe $4,000 a year. It depends on what I'm doing.
Right.
But
Well, you were talking about with Corey earlier. You have to fucking plant food.
Plant the right food for them to even look at you. You gotta go through and make sure that there's water. And that's what I was getting at is with the whole climate change.
Yeah.
How I realized it was this past year. You go from a good year of killing ducks and the weather doing what it's supposed to do, and then you go to this year and the weather fucked you.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Super
I mean,
fucked.
Especially
shit.
when you look, I mean, you hunted, you went out hunting probably 3 times as much as you did last year.
Nah, about equal.
About equal?
About equal.
Oh, over the last couple of years, then, I guess.
Yeah.
You've definitely been doing it more recently.
The last 2 years have been a higher
Well, it's weird
percentage.
how you get older, you tend to have more means to do things
Well,
like
right.
that. So.
Well,
But
it's
higher percentage of going
okay.
out and trying to
And
to hunt.
so having
Right.
gone out more recently, you are still seeing less and less.
right, and it's
on a regular
due.
basis.
It is due to the weather. It's due to the
Right.
weather. It's due to the weather being
Well, you're
warm.
talking-
So
yeah.
no matter what, if the weather's warm up north,
Yeah.
the birds aren't, the ducks, the geese, they're not going to move. They have that water. They have that food. So when they have to move is when it snows and freezes.
Right.
And then they can't get to the food. Okay, even if they eat out everything up there,
Right.
they
Phrasing,
eat it all,
But go on.
which won't happen. The only species known to do that is snow geese, and they all need to be probably wiped out at some point just to restart. There's like 5 million of them.
Jesus Christ.
And the Earth really can only hold 2 million.
Right.
So they are wiping out the tundra up north. I mean, they are eating the root
Yeah.
of the tundra and wiping it out.
Yeah.
But you think of it in my aspect
They're,
of
like,
being
they're not like they're surely not a protected species.
no,
of any kind.
no.
They're so popular,
We have conservation orders
Right.
in order to where I can hunt from Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, from all the way Texas, Louisiana, all the way up from a certain period to a certain period, and it's shoot as many as you want. We don't care.
They
snow geese?
Kill them. Yeah.
They either get rid of the
Snow geese.
limits or they raise the limits through the
Right.
roof.
They're like,
Because
yeah, screw it, kill them. Canada has extended their snow goose conservation season.
Wow.
Usually it's about a month, maybe a month and a half. They're at 2 months. They're almost into May. Like
Or just
most,
fucking kill them all.
yeah, they're kill them. Come up here, shoot them all. I don't care
Damn.
because they are that bad to the environment.
Yeah.
And in having this weather
Yeah.
stay warm,
Well, it just makes it worse.
it makes it worse because they can breed
Right.
more, and then they eat more, or they eat truly in the like
It's not that they eat more; it's just they eat what's there.
they eat what's there.
which normally would freeze.
Right. Normally it'd freeze and they'd move to the next state.
Right.
And then they'd move to the next, or fly away, whichever flyway. They come all over the United States.
Right.
But from north to south.
Generally.
And from hunting, like Matt said, over the last 2 years. So last year, not this past 2016, but 2015, being able to hunt where we did, we crushed them. We shot 100 ducks.
Yeah.
And a couple geese. And this year we shot 35, 40 ducks. Because of the weather. The weather didn't change well enough to move them. And even if it does, okay, yeah, maybe you have to be in the right spot and you have to scout. That's a big part of it. You have to be where they are
Well,
at.
that's the whole, that's the word, hunting.
Right. But at the same time, a lot of ducks and geese follow the same pattern that their mom or dad or their ancestors did.
Right, it's all instinctual.
Right. So
most birds have a well-established migratory path. Like
Exactly.
the sandhill cranes, right?
Yep.
In western Nebraska, the same kind of thing. It's like
Yep.
generally they're going to come through the Scottsbluff area
Yep.
always, no matter what.
Yep.
And then when they don't, people fucking lose their minds.
Well, yeah.
But that's a big indicator for other shit that's happening.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing here, too, is out west, York area, it's all dried up. There's no water. Out here, you have the river, and we've been getting rain, so there's water, and you can hunt, literally 5 miles that way.
Right.
And crush ducks and geese. But I drive 2.5 hours, 2 hours, where we crushed geese 2 years ago to this year and not shoot a thing.
Nothing.
I mean, we shot, but it's not like it was. And that's where I was getting at with the whole climate change. Is climate change causes so much more than just, you know,
It's
the weather.
hot this year.
It is hot. I agree. It is
Well,
hot.
when
this
we
year.
had 75-degree weather in January.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Well, yeah.
And
when
I hope this year cools down. I hope this 2017 or
I've
the
been
physical
expecting-
year cools down.
Yeah. Well, I've been expecting the area to get shit on with snow for like 3 years now.
Same.
I've been
I mean,
expecting
you
it.
think, how
Last
much
year
snow
we
did
had-
actually get this last winter?
3-4 inches,
Yeah, maybe.
maybe at
Total.
max.
And I mean, we're outside. I mean, I've seen snow in May here, but like I can tell her we're not gonna
It's
see it.
done now.
It's
yeah.
just gonna be rain.
It's 60 degrees.
It's
right
gonna be
now.
rain from here until June, and then it's gonna be fucking Death Valley until August, and then it's gonna rain again,
That's
and
the
then it's
thing
gonna be
with the rain.
thunderstorms.
I mean, it's been raining for the last 3 weeks straight now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Today was the first
We're
day. It was
turning
sunny
into
and
fucking
Seattle.
almost a
So,
month.
Yeah, Seattle.
last year the only thing we had one like big snow. It was the only one that we got shit on, where the dude was like, "We're gonna get 2 inches," and then like in a fucking half
We
hour
got
it was
about a
8.
foot, yeah.
I was like I went outside to smoke, and I'm like, I looked at the balcony, like the handrail, and I was like, put my hand up. It's a lot of snow.
That's
More
not
than
2
2.
inches.
It's more than 2.
Yeah, this is more than the amount you said. So yeah, that kind of took people by surprise. But we had like the joke that I always say when I describe this particular snow. So a couple weeks ago we had it. It was like that was maybe about a month ago now. There was like, I always say it's 1/256th of an inch of snow, and it took me an hour to get to work because people were freaking the fuck out because there was snow on the ground.
And that's the thing. It could snow for a month straight. At the end of the month, everybody would be doing fine.
Yep.
It doesn't snow for 3 days, and then it snows on the 4th
And
day.
people fucking
and
forget.
Nobody knows how to do anything.
How?
Oh.
How does?
It baffles me.
Okay, so around where I live, it's like, okay, I can kind of cut you some slack because you might not be from the area, because you might have been
I could see that.
stationed here. The
Where
government
we
told
live,
you to work.
You've lived here your whole entire fucking life.
Probably.
You should know how to drive in the fucking snow, rain, sleet, hail,
Yeah.
whatever the fucking the tornado comes out. You still know how to fucking drive.
Right. If you have Nebraska plates on your vehicle, that means you've been here probably at least,
At least 2 years.
yeah, at least a little bit, maybe. Although I have a theory, I don't know if I've shared it with you guys yet, but yeah, same thing. Where it's like, and when it rains too, it's like, how the fuck
Yep,
do you know
rain is
how to?
almost just as
Like,
bad.
it's not even really raining. It's like kind of wet, but there's not any standing water on the road. Just drive like you normally would. It will
Yep.
be fine. I mean, unless everybody out there has like bald ass tires, there's no fucking way you should be worried about a little bit of rain.
And with the amount of wannabe rednecks that we have, that
Oh,
drive
Jesus
no
Christ.
way they
lifted
have.
trucks
Yeah.
that are.
I actually, okay,
They're-
so
you should be fine driving in even the snow. I mean, that's
And that-
generally why people have those 4-wheel drive vehicles. But no, you
And
just
that's
want
the
to
issue.
look cool for your friends.
Right. They want to look cool, and then you
Right.
got people like
even though you got
me
people who are out
who
west
drive
Omaha
a
who've
fucking...
never their trucks never been dirty.
Oh,
even.
yeah. No, fuck. They don't get it.
Yeah.
And it, like you were saying, people don't know how to drive, but we grew up here. I don't know about you grew up in...
I learned to drive here.
Learn to drive here, which is perfect.
Right.
I think the Midwest or Nebraska alone is the best place to learn to drive because one, in 2 hours you could go from sunny and 75 to 3 inches of snow with rain mixed in.
Yeah.
And it just makes it so that people... I know me and Matt drive better now because we drove... we've driven here so long and grew up driving here. But... people who come, like you said, it's like, what in the fuck?
The only thing you don't learn here is, and the only reason for this is because there's not
parking.
not enough people here. Well, not that. Although I still can't do that.
Dealing with traffic.
I parallel parked once for my driving test, and it was perfect. I was like, great. And then I've had to parallel park a handful of times since then, and it's always been shit since then.
I can't
like
parallel
100% of the
Because
time.
it's in the spot. And I can
Like,
get back
I'm always
out
like a
and
little
do
bit
it.
crooked. I'm like, fuck it, doesn't matter.
We're
I'm out in
going.
the street. It's okay. Like, I'm hanging over the sidewalk.
Nobody's grading me right now,
Right.
so
Exactly. I passed already. I don't have to worry about it. The only thing that you don't learn here, and the only place you're going to learn this is in a much more populous city or area, is aggressive driving. Like, you have people who drive aggressively here, but that does not even hold a candle to the way people drive in Philly, or like Austin, or Houston,
on the coast,
or anywhere on the coast.
Right.
Fucking God damn, I was ready to stab a bitch when I was in Tampa. I was ready to get out of my fucking rental car and beat somebody to death with a goddamn tire iron.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of that, go to LaxCon in Baltimore this last year.
Baltimore would suck too.
And
fuck me.
I get out of the airport, or I get off the plane. I go get a taxi. No, I just got a taxi because the hotel was literally connected to the convention center. I didn't have to go anywhere.
Nice.
Besides airport, hotel, convention center, hotel, airport. And I get in this car, this taxi, and the guy is straight up Russian. I mean, speaking like he can speak English, but it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
Speaking of aggressive driving, this guy was going like 100 down the interstate, trying to get me from Baltimore or from the airport to the hotel in downtown Baltimore by the harbor.
So
and I'm like,
that being said, I have a Russian coworker who apparently, despite the lack of generally aggressive drivers, because I mean you have to be aggressive on the East Coast and in all these more populous cities if you want to get anything done in your vehicle. You have to be aggressive. Like here, you don't have to be aggressive. You can be because most people. Well, actually, I found that the days that I want to be an aggressive driver, somebody's always fucking boxing me out. Like there's nothing I can do about it. Like two people going parallel on the highway, not passing each other, doing the exact speed of them. I'm like, oh, Christ. So he said he drove to lunch one time. It was me and a couple other coworkers and him. And he drove to lunch one time and just fucking, I think we were on 75 South because I think we were going to Chipotle. And the speed limit on that section of 75 South was 65, so it's already higher than it is in other places around the region, around the like metro area. So he's doing 65 because he's a good Russian driver. Also, he's got a green card, so he can't fuck anything up too bad. So he's doing the speed limit, and somebody flies by. Gotta be 90. Like, there's no fucking way this guy's not doing 90. And another one right behind him. And he was like, I haven't seen road rage like that since I lived in Moscow. I was like, fuck. Apparently we've got bad road rage here.
He freaked out about it.
He just laughed about it. He's like, man, he was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
He's just surprised that was even a thing that happened in the Midwest. Because he had worked in Aurora before he moved here. Which is nothing.
Fuck.
Nobody lives in
There's
Aurora.
nothing. I know one person from Aurora, and that's it. One.
Aurora's like in the middle of the state.
And his dad was a crop duster. He flew planes for farmers and
not the guy who farts down cubicle aisles. An actual guy who flies a plane.
An actual guy.
Not a guy
where did I get that job?
Who farts near.
Well, shit, you clog toilets for a living anyway. You might as well just do that.
That's like the next step down.
8 years.
8 years since DC or since my house? Which one?
I don't know. Which one was 8 years ago? It's been a while.
I actually was kind of wondering where the plunger is in your bathroom. Like he must have it in a closet somewhere. Because
it's under the sink, maybe.
A plunger's one of those things where you want to have it before you need it. You have to have it before you need it. And actually, yeah.
I think that was the first gift I ever got for my brand new house.
Yeah.
That's smart. I should have got you a super plunger.
It took us super plungers. That's not even a joke. That's actually like a thing.
Oh,
Like,
no, we know firsthand.
There's a specific toilet plunger. Most plungers that you see are actually sink plungers.
Right.
Because when you think of a toilet plunger, like, oh yeah, the little disc, right? That's actually a sink plunger. Don't use those on a toilet because they don't work very well.
Well, they work.
Toilet
okay.
plungers have like a dome to them, and then like a little spout on them. And you get in there. What I found actually was really super effective. What I found is super effective is you didn't see nobody can see the motion I made. You can get in there.
What is it? 22 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Break through the ceiling.
Break through.
That's also the same motion we use to describe restaurant managers because they just get fisted all the time. Yeah, what I found is pretty effective is you put the plunger in there, right? And you get all the air out of the plunger so you make all the bubbles. And then when you pull it, you kind of twist it as you pull out. You try to create a little vortex.
Does that work for you?
I don't know. It's probably placebo
effect. We're in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And
you probably had to ask the front desk for a toilet plunger.
Yep.
Oh, and you're like 13, so that's like the perfect... That's a good way to make an introvert for life, because you're like, the most embarrassing moment in your life, you have to go to the front desk or call them.
No, it wasn't us.
Okay, hold on. Let's recap. Eighth grade group trip to Washington, D.C. We were staying... this was in D.C., I think, right?
Yeah.
So we were 4 to a room with 2 queen beds each, right?
Right.
So I was in a room with one of our other good friends and two. I mean, they were friends back then, but we don't really hang out with them anymore. But Trace was in a room with 3 other people.
Right.
There was somebody taking a pee in our room at the time.
Uh-huh.
So everybody was hanging out in Trace's Trace's room. And I'm like, well, somebody's peeing in our room. Can I just go to the bathroom in yours real quick? Sure. Go in. Well, start peeing. Well, this isn't just pee.
Yeah.
Okay. Sit down. Come out. That's not good. Yeah. So Trace, I kind of clogged the toilet a little bit. And so one of our friends who is a little bit more outgoing kind of thing at the time, he, I'll call somebody to come up and do it. So we all left the room at the time. Janitor for the hotel comes up. And I guess we went back over to their room it was probably, an hour later?
Yeah. And I had to, this is a whole nother thing too, is now somebody else is in
that's what it was. Trace had to go
bathroom. And I was like, well, I gotta
see if
pee.
he could use the restroom over there. And he asked, oh, well, can I use the restroom? Like, because somebody's in ours now. And our friend who had originally called the front desk was, sure. After he's done plunging it, this is about an hour later already.
He's been plunging the toilet for an hour straight.
Yeah.
So Trace looks in the bathroom, and this guy's got, it's like a thing that's like damn near attached to his back, and he's got like a giant metal pole sticking out of the toilet or something. Like,
you know those
just
vacuums?
going to town.
You know those vacuums for restaurants that they throw on your back and you can flip on? It was like that, but for plunging.
Wow.
I mean, this guy was getting it in there.
Yeah.
And
all because one 8th grade boy had to poop.
Took the shit of his life.
Dude, and that's not the only time.
Oh, no. Then... it was a different hotel, wasn't it? So we stayed in DC. I think we were gone for a total of 4 days, I want to say.
Oh, shit.
We stayed in DC the first 2 nights. The third night we stayed in Williamsburg, Virginia. Okay. We went to Old Williamsburg,
Robust
whatever.
lads.
We stayed in a hotel in Williamsburg, and so we were only there for one night. We left in the morning, and then we were driving home, or going to the airport to fly home.
Yeah, driving. It's like a 20-hour drive, but go on.
Had to poop in the morning,
Yep.
as most people do.
Yep.
Thankfully, I was the last one to use that restroom out of our group that was in the room.
Because you ruined it.
We left a surprise at the toilet for whoever had to clean the bathroom.
Watch, some guy that worked there 8 years ago is going to listen to this and be like, that motherfucker.
Holy shit.
Woo! You okay?
Hey, so remember when we said that chair leg was broken? It's super fucking broken.
Woo!
Like, extra broken. Dude, I hit my fucking funny bone, like reacting to that, and I can't feel my arm anymore. Trace is losing his shit on the floor.
On the ground.
He's not even that drunk anymore. He's losing his shit.
That's...
Oh my god.
That was broken.
Well, we've been going for an hour and 18 minutes.
I think that's about time to wrap it up
Yeah,
there.
that seems like a good point to wrap it up. I hope that's caught. Here, hold on. I can't see because Audacity's still running. It's just gonna cut me back. I gotta see if
This
the
is
audio
gonna be
picked
a
that
big
up.
spike there.
Yeah, it has to pick it up. Matt, that chair is.
That is how would you call broken?
The best part about that was the slow motion fall that happened. Because you were just enough leaning against the wall that you didn't go all in one motion. Yeah, there's no. You gotta take a picture of that for the fucking Instagram. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Trace is losing his shit. Trace can't breathe. And he was like, "Oh, you're winded. You just smoked a cigarette. You're fucking winded." Trace isn't gonna be able to fucking breathe here in a second.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit better for you than smoking.
Goodness.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Caption.
guess this is the end of the inaugural episode of the Wildcard podcast.
Trace falls out of a chair.
Trace loses his shit, eats shit on the floor of Matt's kitchen.
Oh shit, that was great.
All right.
Oh my god.
I guess that's that. Do we like how do you end a podcast? Gus is always just like fucking bye.
Yeah.
So
Bye.
I guess bye.
Peace. Or you can pull the Gavin. Hey!
Hey!